Good morning. Good morning. This is Monday, July the 13th, and we are live with Uplift with Cliff. You guys, it was a hot weekend in Orlando. We got a little Alexander Hamilton playing in the background. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it yet. One of the best plays, musicals, anything I've ever seen. I wish I had seen it in New York. I wish I had been there when it opened. I see now why people paid thousands to see it. It was a great play, and it was one of the, it's definitely going to win every award, and it deserves every award that it wins. So it's Monday, July the 13th. And this is Uplift with Cliff. I'm giving everyone a second to join in today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I see some people reaching out, and let me see if I can get you guys on the screen here. It is so good to see everybody. Oh gosh, okay. How do I do this again? Let's get you on screen. Let's get you on screen. And we're going to get started here in a second. So before we get started, you know, ever so often you do something that makes news all around the world, but it's not necessarily the thing that you're most proud of. And this weekend, hold on, I'm going to adjust my lights for a second. This weekend, Florida broke a record, and I don't know if it was the record we wanted to break. It was the most COVID cases of any state ever, period. And I made a joke that you could walk outside and just smell the COVID. I mean, people, 15,000 cases, everybody. Listen. It's not difficult. We say it every week. Stay safe. Listen, use a face covering. If I use my handy dandy face covering that I have, many of you have face coverings. If you know it's out there, stay safe, Orlando. And by all means, you should keep hand sanitizer handy. I keep hand sanitizer. I spray the hands of people who come into my office. Be safe, Orlando. COVID is out there, and it does not discriminate. COVID doesn't care if you're black. COVID doesn't care if you're white. COVID doesn't care if you're Australian. COVID does not discriminate. You have to be safe because this thing gets into your system and absolutely exploits your weaknesses. But listen, if you have been doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're using a face covering, if you're washing your hands, if you're not going out when you don't need to go out, there's nothing to fear. Listen, none of us can add a hair or add a breath to our lives. We're all in the big man's hands, in God's hands. There's nothing to fear. But what you've got to do is take away the reasons for fear, because fear itself is a killer. Let me tell you, fear will do more to you and your body than COVID ever will. And it already is. And so I tell everybody to stay safe. And if you're essential, go out and do your job. If you've got a closing, if you've got a reason to be out in those streets, get out in those streets and do your job, because people got to eat. But listen, if you don't have a reason to be out there, then by all means, stay safe, Orlando. Because this thing is out there and it's to be caught, and people are catching it, and they're showing pictures of people herded together in lakes and at the beach, hundreds at a time. Listen, don't beg for it. Don't beg for it, because you never know how it's going to affect you. Be safe. But I don't want any of my people, any of my Orlando people, to be fearful for anything. This is why ever so often about every other uplift with Cliff, I come back to the issue of fears and dealing with your fears. Why? Because you're gonna have to go out and exist. You still gotta be mama. You still gotta be principal. You still gotta be the realtor. You still gotta be the CEO. Regardless as to COVID or anything else, the government can't give you a subsidy forever. Eventually, you're gonna have to go out there and make a living, and so you've got to be fearless when you do it, but you gotta be smart about it. Today, we're gonna talk about the 7 ways to overcome fear in your business. See, and I want you to share this with people today because I know you've got friends like I've got friends, and they're just really, really scared to do anything. Listen, you can't retire at 30. You can't retire at 40. Many of us can't retire at 60. You got to get out and work. So you can't let the fear of what could happen continually affect your life forever. So once again, we're going to talk about the fear in business and overcoming those fears. Some of you guys are emailing me. Wow, new day. So the first thing you got to do to overcome fear in business is identify your fear. What exactly are you afraid of? I know people that I have encountered here at ORRA that will find something to be scared of. The wind's blowing too hard, it's raining too hard, they're coughing out there, they're sneezing out there. But you've got to identify your fear. Now, some of the most common fears are, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You ever met somebody that ain't never ready? You get together and say, hey, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. They ain't never ready. You have to push them off the dadgum ledge. Remember that when you were a kid, when everybody said we're going to do this and do that, and then there's always that one person, wait, don't touch me, don't touch me, wait. Yeah, there's always that one that ain't never ready. So the number one, you have to identify your fear, and some of the common fears are I'm not ready yet. Then there are the people who have the fear of failure. In most cases, this is something instilled in them in their youth, and so at some point in their life, their failure had a consequence, and they didn't know how to deal with it, so they're constantly out there working with the fear of failure. And then there's the other people out there that have the fear of not knowing everything that they need to know. This is real classic. In our new member orientation class, I tell them all the time, I know you don't know how to sell real estate because passing the state exam does not teach you how to sell real estate. So they have that fear of not knowing everything. And the way that you overcome that is just raise your hand, just ask a question, say, hey, I need some help. Some people are scared to ask for help. That's a whole nother fear. And then there are the people out there who have the fear of not being good enough. So these are the fears that keep people in business from being able to be successful, from being able to launch new initiatives. I've got people who will study the wind, study the weather. Oh my God, if 6 cars passed Cliff, we needed 7. We need to abort. We need to abort. We needed a 7th car. And I'm just like, what in the world are you scared of? So the things 7 ways to overcome fear is the first thing you got to do is identify the fear. The second thing you have to do to overcome and identify your fear in business is realize that it's not about you. It's not all about you. Stop making everything about you, but it's actually a good thing. If you mess up, so what? So what if you mess up? Get up and try again. People are running around scared to be successful. They're absolutely scared of being successful. Stop spending so much time focusing on you and focus on what would happen if you were actually successful. Stop spending so much time focusing on what could go wrong. Realize that it's not all about you. And focus on what would happen if you were actually successful at what you do. The third way that you overcome fear in business is you have to determine the worst case scenarios. What is the worst case scenario? Now, I don't want you to focus on it. You just need to know what it is. Why? Because now you can focus on the best case scenario. What is the best case scenario? See, I don't ever worry about the worst case scenario because I've been talked about, I've been lied on, I've been cheated, I've been depleted, I've been used, I've been abused. So it ain't really a whole lot more someone can do to me. if things go bad. I've kind of been there. But you know what? I love the high, the euphoria, and the feeling of winning. And that best case scenario always outweighs the worst case scenario, because I'm that guy that when you tell him no, he can't, I'm going to find a way to do it. If you tell me no, they can't, I will find a way to do it, because that is the #1 motivator for Cliff Long. And it's the #1 motivator for a lot of my friends out there as well. The fourth thing, and the fourth way to overcome your fear in business, is to focus on the why. Do you remember why you started doing what you're doing? Do you remember why you got in this business? Do you remember why you became a realtor? Do you remember any of those things? Because what happens is when you forget your why, you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. Why do you do what you do? Do you love it? Have you written down why you do what you do? When you know why, fear leaves. You see, I know why I'm the CEO of this Association of Realtors and why I want to be a realtor CEO. So it's nothing that anyone can say to me to shake that whatsoever. I know I'm in the right place at the right time. Are you in the right place at the right time? Can you overcome your fears? Is your why strong enough? Is your why strong enough? Focus on your why and your goals. Do you have goals? Have you written them down? You see, having goals helps you to divert your attention away from your fear. Yes, having goals helps to divert attention away from your fears, because if you focus on the step by step by step by step, when you do that, then you take your attention off of your fears, and that thing, the big boogeyman you're looking for, goes away. So, focus on your goals, and these are ways to overcome your fears in business. The fifth thing that you can do is to actually take action. Stop procrastinating. You see, procrastination is a hotbed for fear. Oh my God. The person who is procrastinating, sitting there waiting, fear is about to make a mockery of you. See, the person that's out there doing it, making it happen, they don't have time for fears to jump on their shoulder and start speaking in their ears and saying all those little negative things. Oh, but you procrastinators, you people who are waiting, oh my God, you're waiting on the next headline. You're waiting on the next news release, the next soundbite. Your classic procrastination causes fear to jump in and take over what you do or what you're planning on doing, and you never actually do it. Procrastination is a thief. Procrastination opens the screen door, the window, and the front door and lets fear come on in. If you were out there doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to be doing it, you wouldn't have time to think of all those stupid worst case scenarios that keep popping up in your mind, thinking that it's raining and I'm going to drown and the wind is blowing, my house is falling down. All these irrational thoughts because you were procrastinating when you should have been out talking to the client. You should have been at the listing appointment. You should have been talking to your spouse. You should have been talking to your kids. But that massive procrastination keeps you from being successful. Stop procrastinating. Get up, get out, and get something. Get up, get out, and get something today so that fear doesn't steal your success. The sixth thing you can do to help you overcome fear in business is to find a support system. Now, I cannot stress how much of a support system, how much having a support system means. I've had a tremendous support system all my life, my family. Whether it was my mother and father, my wife and children, my support system has been strong. Okay? And because of that, I oftentimes am emboldened and feel that I can do anything. Sometimes you don't want to do anything because you're scared to death, but you need that little extra push from somebody that's close to you. See, that's what Uplift with Cliff is all about. I'm getting ready to push you right out the house, off the ledge, out the car, and into success. Uplift with Cliff is giving you all about giving you that Monday morning nudge to get out and be successful. Look, I'm your support system. That's what the Association of Realtors is. It's one big support system for everybody. So what you've got to do is find yourself and surround yourself with individuals who want to see you succeed. I mentioned this 2 weeks ago. Have you found yourself and surrounded yourself with individuals and a support system that wants to see you succeed. If not, fear is getting ready to have a field day with you. Don't let it do that. Get yourself a support system. I tell the story all the time. My brothers are out there listening. I know them because they're all over the state of Florida. I remember when I was stuck in a rut and I was not moving, I found myself some guys in a Bible study who were all very successful, very wealthy businessmen, and I joined their Bible study. We didn't all go to the same church or do any of this stuff. Every Monday or Tuesday we met at the doctor's office because one of them was a physician, and we had surgeons, we had state senators, we had state representatives, we had cardiologists. Everybody was in our male Bible study. And we met and we talked about business. Business only, business in the Bible. But I made the purposeful step of finding some successful businessmen who had what I wanted, changed my circle. I got a new support system, never looked back. My life changed forever because people who were highly successful in their business took an interest in my business and wanted to see Cliff succeed. And they began to push and open doors for me that, again, I never looked back. Have you changed your circle? Are you still rolling with the same circle? Is your support system the one you had 10 years ago? And are they in the same place and are you in the same place? Have you changed your support system or gotten a new successful support system? If you haven't, let me tell you, this is one of the #1 things that can kickstart your business. Surrounding yourself with successful people. I just don't know how to stress that even more. Surrounding yourself with successful people will help you overcome your fear in business. Surround yourself. If you want to get rid of your fears, hang around the fearless. If you want to get rid of your fears, hang around the fearless. You cannot hang around fearful people and be successful. Now, the last thing that you can do, and this is going to be contrary to everything else I said, but it's going to work. The last thing that you can do to help you overcome your fears and be in business is to learn to embrace your fear. I eat fear. I love it. Like I told you, one of the ways to help me be successful is tell me I can't. Tell me I can't go. Tell me you don't want to do it. Tell me you just feed me when you do that. Because it helps me. I embrace the fear. I embrace the natural fear. As George Adair once said, everything you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. So all you got to do is go out and embrace that fear. Don't let it control you. You muster up some courage and you control your fears. And you will take over your life, your business, and everything else. I want to tell you something. It's 9:48 and 23 seconds, July 13th. This is Uplift with Cliff. I'm going to tell you something about fear. You ready? If you muster this, oh gosh, I'm about to unlock one of the keys right here. This is the key. Hey, write this down, put it on your tablet, put it on your board, send it to me in an email, text it to me. I'm about to unlock one of the keys to the universe. This is going to be big. This is going to be deep. This is going to be magnificent. It's 9:48 and 53 seconds. I'm about to unlock a key to the universe. If you grasp this, you can change your life forever. You ready? I got to whisper. Fear starts in the brain. Fear starts in the brain. Yes, it doesn't start out there. It's right here. The battlefield is the mind. Joyce Meyer wrote a book about it years ago, about 15 years ago. The battlefield is the mind. If you can control your mind and eliminate and win the battle of fear right here, there is nothing you can't accomplish on this earth. The spirit of fear is not native to your body. The spirit of fear is not native to your heart. The spirit of fear is not native to you. It is an invasive species. Fear is an invasive species that was never supposed to live in your mind. Fear is an invasive species that's never supposed to have gotten a place in your heart. It's right here. If you win on the battlefield of the mind, you can accomplish anything. There are some people out there, you're like it, you know, you're willing to admit it right now. It has been your fear of what could happen that has stopped things from happening for you. Oh my God. Your fear of what could happen stops things from happening. When are you going to grasp that? If you stop fearing what could happen, you'll go on out there, you'll make one or two mistakes, you'll learn from them, and you'll be a greater person in the end. All of your body's resources, fear literally makes you sick. I got 10 minutes left. I got to talk to you about this. I got to talk to you about this. This is the part that you're going to have to share with your friends. I got to tell you what that fear is doing to you physically. It's killing you. I told you when we opened up that fear literally affects you. It's killing you faster than COVID is. Your fears have already infected you and affected you. You've got to deal with those fears right now. Fear starts in the brain, and then everything in your body gets diverted. Your mind and everything gets diverted into one mission, and that's staying alive. Your heart rate and your blood pressure increase. You start breathing faster, and your muscles tense up. Your pupils, your eyes dilate so that you can see the threat more clearly. Your body behaves differently and stays in a heightened state in fear. And next in comes stress, and in comes cancer, and in comes worry. And next thing you know, in comes anxiety. Anxiety is fear gone wrong. Anxiety is an emotional response to something that the brain thinks is dangerous, but it isn't actually dangerous. Let me back up. Fear is coming right after anxiety, and anxiety is fear gone wrong. Anxiety is an emotional response to something that the brain thinks is dangerous, but actually isn't dangerous. And what comes next after anxiety? 3, 2, 1, panic. Fear comes first, then comes anxiety, and then right after that, baby, like a jackhammer, here comes panic, getting ready to cause you to do something and act out of your head. You have got to get control of it right now, because fear hits you first, then anxiety hits you second, and then panic comes in like a sledgehammer and gets you to act in a way that's counterintuitive to what you would normally do. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the 1-2 punch begins, and it starts to work on your physical body. The first thing fear does is it weakens your immune system. It causes cardiovascular damage, gastrointestinal problems. You develop ulcers. You know I'm telling the truth. How many of y'all have seen people develop ulcers from fear? You develop ulcers. You get IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Fear decreases your fertility. When fear, then anxiety, then panic, it starts, and your body starts to do all these different responses because you lost control right here in your mind. It even ages you faster. There are people I know out there that they look like they're 79 years old and they're really 50. It's because they've lived their whole life wondering what could happen. You got to stop that right now. The next thing fear affects is your memory. Fear can impair long-term memories and cause damage to certain parts of the brain. Yes, when you're constantly in a state of fear and what could happen, it starts to attack you physically. Not only does it attack your business, but once it's done ruining your business because you made all the wrong moves, then it's coming for your body, and you'll never be the same, because it starts with your immune system, your cardiovascular, your lymph nodes, your bowel, and then it's coming for your memory. To someone who has chronic fear, the world is scary, and their memories confirm that. They're always scared of something. What comes next? Your brain processes change. Fear can interrupt processes in your brain that help you to regulate emotions and nonverbal cues. When you're fearful, you miss the fact that she really was telling you, I think you're cute. When you're fearful because you think that he's not going to like you, you miss that cue that he really is that into you. When you're fearful, you make up your mind that those clients don't really want to do business with you, and you start to end the contact before you really got into the meat of the conversation, because the fear has caused you to believe that you're not good enough and that they wouldn't want to do business with you. Fear impacts your thinking and your decision making in negative ways. It makes you susceptible to intense emotion. Fear makes you susceptible to emotion. I was meeting with a friend of mine not too long ago, and as I listened to them talk about what could go wrong, they broke down into tears and intense emotion, all because of a fear that something might happen. You got to let it go, because fear will kill you quicker than COVID. Fear will kill you quicker than COVID. That's the next thing I want you to put on your page, put it on your Facebook. I want you to put it on your story, put it on your Instagram, put it everywhere and make the announcement. Fear will kill you quicker than COVID. You cannot start living and having a spirit of fear. You cannot start having a mindset of fear. You cannot start living the worst that could happen mentality. Fear and fear of what could go wrong will kill you quicker than COVID. And obviously fear, if you ask any good soldier, those that have been in battle, fear affects your mental health, and it takes you into a PSTD type of mindset. So, and it also takes you into clinical depression. You mean to tell me I can be bold, I can be brave, I can be courageous and live the life I want, or I can be fearful. I can be fearful and not have the life I want. I got 4 minutes left, and you know about this time. It's time for us to do our affirmations. It's time for us to affirm that this week is going to be great, and we're going to be fearless this week. This is Uplift with Cliff, July 13th. We're not going to tolerate this. We're going to win the battlefield right here in our mind. The first thing we're going to say is, I am not afraid. Say it with me. I am not afraid. Say it with me. I am courageous. I am courageous. Say, I am not afraid. I am courageous. I am not afraid. I am courageous. Say, fear, you have no place here. Tell it. Speak to it. Fear, you have no place in my body or my mind. Fear, you have no place in my body or my mind. Fear, you have no place in my body or my mind. I want you to speak to it. Say, God loves me and I love God. God loves me and I love God. God loves me and I love God. Fear has no place in my body or in my mind. I want you to speak to that thing today. I want you to tell yourself, this is going to be my best week ever. Yes, yes. This is going to be my best week ever. Say it. Say it. This week, the week of the 13th, is going to be my best week ever. I want you to say that I'm the best there ever was. Yes, I am the best there ever was. Say it. I'm the best there ever was. Say, fear has no place. I will overcome fear. Fear has no place here. I will overcome my fears. Fear has no place here. I will overcome my fears. Say, I will be successful in say this. I will be successful in business this week. I will be successful in business this week. Say it. I am a good mother and my children love me. I am a good mother and my children love me. I am a good father and my children love me. I am a good father and my children love me. I am a great realtor and I am successful. I am a great realtor and I am successful. I want you to start affirming these things. You have to speak to yourself. You have to convince yourself in the battlefield of the mind that you are winning. You ever met somebody that is always winning? It's because they got the mindset. This song is from Hamilton. The king came in, and although the colonies were winning the war, you couldn't convince the King of England that we weren't coming back. They had no fear whatsoever. This week, no fear. This week, I know COVID is out there. I want you to mask up, partner, mask up. I want you to get your hand sanitizer. I want you to be careful. I want you to socially distance. Soon you'll see. And do what it takes to be successful. There's nothing out there Just like I said last week, I looked at the Wall Street Journal. I looked at the Washington Post, the New York Times, USA Today. I scanned the Sentinel. I scanned the OBJ. I looked at all the papers out there and on CNN.com. And I couldn't find one article that said that you weren't going to have an awesome week this week. I couldn't find one article that said that this wasn't going to be your best week ever. I couldn't find it written anywhere that you aren't the best there ever was. So all I need you to do is go out there and do it. Do the doggone thing. You're going to be successful. You're going to close. You're going to get the listing. You're going to get that work done this week. This is going to be your best week ever. Do you believe that? I believe that. Look at me. If you don't believe, if you can't believe it for yourself, go on my belief. If you don't have the faith to believe that it's going to happen for you, go on my faith. It's going to be the greatest week ever. This week, the July 13th week, I want you to look for listings. I want you to look for closings. I want you to look for students in your school. I want you to look for your books to come out right. I want you to look for your relationship at home to go good. The kids are going to hug you. You're going to hug them back. Your husband loves you. Your wife loves you. God loves you. You're going to love him back. This week is going to be your best week ever. To remind you of my love. Da 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 da. It's been Uplift with Cliff. No fear. Love you.